that, or is that something that can be let go?
That will be state by state. So it really depend on whatever either the legislature has decided or by popular referendum, as in places like Colorado and California. So nothing changes there. The only thing that changes is at the federal level, you will have the ability now to research it. So if you're a researcher working at a university, you can actually have some delivered. You're able to get federal funding. And then for business owners, people who have medicinal dispensaries, they can actually use those business expenses, as I mentioned before. They can start to take out insurance. We don't yet have federal banking reform, which is very important for cannabis, particularly a lot of companies that can only keep cash on site. So we still have this big issue between the federal government and the states, still going to be based on that state to state level. And then you will have slow FDA approval of cannabis derived products as well.
I'm glad you mentioned it was reclassified for Schedule 3. I misspoke before and said it was reclassified as Schedule 2, but it is Schedule 3, as you noted. It sounds like you're saying that this was not a big enough move, but how much of a game-changing move is this by the Trump administration?
I mean, it starts to legitimize business. It starts to legitimize something that we all know in parallel society. People have been buying cannabis on street corners, through friends, through even the dark net for many, many years. It removes it from the streets and hopefully puts it into legitimate businesses that can pay taxes, that can have employees, and it can be part of the normal markets that are age-gated, like alcohol, like tobacco, like all the rest. And we're kind of normalizing this instead of using the force of the government. We can actually have investment, and we can have people who can turn their life around, who perhaps have been harmed by the war on drugs. So I think overall it's a very good thing. Every state is going to have a different flavor. Virginia will have a different style of either a recreational or a medical market, as North Carolina or Florida or all the rest. But that's sort of the beauty of federalism.
So now this money can actually be funneled toward research. Let's talk about the benefits for people who have certain ailments or illnesses. For years and years, you've been working on this issue, and you said just before we started how much suffering basically is going to be alleviated. So tell us some of those stories from the past and where people might be able to go now and what they can do.
I think one of the largest constituencies that really has found a lot of use in cannabis have been veterans. There's been a lot of veterans and a lot of elderly patients. All the kind of early numbers that we got from states like California and from Colorado, many of the early users of this were the elder generation. So it was boomers who were using this for ailments, for pain, people who had trouble sleeping, for anxiety. And again, it's not going to be something that everyone is going to be able to use responsibly, but this is with every product, every pharmaceutical, every drug that we have. And you really have found people who, for them, it's really changed their lives. And whether people are using CBD products, which might not be as powerful as the THC products. We have now a developed market in many of these states. You do have some maturity in the business, and you will have different use cases. And the thing is now that the money is there, now that we've removed those criminal penalties,